we're talking interior door installation costs. Okay, so I found this website that talks about the cost to do different projects around your home, and it breaks it down into different categories, and then it basically goes by your zip code, the area that you live in, and that's how they determine what approximately you'll pay for those services. So for pre-hung interior door installation in my area, this is what it says. So you've got your basic installation cost. There is a range on all of these. In my area, the install would be $156 to $254, it says. Now it says that we have our actual pre-hung door cost to purchase the door itself. Okay. And that in my area looks like you will pay about $130 to $199. Now, one thing I should mention probably before we go any further here is not everyone knows all of this terminology. The average homeowner might not know specifically what type of door they need to install where in their home. So I'm just going to explain this quick. And if you already know this information, if you do this on a regular basis, then just ignore this part, fast forward past it. I want to speak to everyone that's watching this video, whether they know this or not. So I'm just going to quickly mention that there are two types of doors. If you're installing in your home, you'll need to know which type you're going to install in which room, and I'll explain that. So there are what's called hollow core doors, and there are also something called solid core doors. Those are the two types. So you'll have to determine which one you're putting in which area. So a solid core door is used for any area or room where you want soundproofing. So let's say, for instance, a bathroom or a bedroom, maybe to give you a little bit more privacy. And then let's see. Okay, so like a laundry room, for instance. If let's say you have a laundry room in the basement, you've got a family room next door to that laundry room, and you're trying to watch a movie, and you've got the dryer going in the laundry room, and there's some banging going on. Or let's say you're listening to the wash cycle, and you really would rather be listening to your movie instead. So that would be the perfect place to put a solid core door to help with that soundproofing in that room, so that you don't hear as much of that activity outside of the room in the next room. Now, a hollow core door, you're going to install those for closets, pantries, those types of rooms where you don't need soundproofing, because probably nothing's going on in those rooms. Let's hope anyway. So those are the two types of doors that you'll need to decide which one where, and that could speak to why we've got a range here as well on this website. Depending upon whether you're installing a hollow core, solid core, they are different prices. Your solid core doors are more expensive. There's more material in them. So, and then it probably costs more to install a solid core door than a hollow core door, because solid core is a little more challenging. It's a little more difficult install to get it level and plumb than you would maybe have with a hollow core door. So I can certainly understand that. So that would probably be the reason you would see a range here as well. Okay, so let's see, basic installation, we've got our door itself. Now you're gonna have, or the contractor will have, whoever installs, may have some supplies that they need to purchase. And the site says that's going to be anywhere between $18 and $20 per door, okay? And then we've got what's called an equipment allowance. And that range is, let's see, between $54 and on the high end it's $77. Okay. Then we've got a couple more charges here to remove the old door and frame. Cost there would be $64 to upper range $103. Okay. And we have a disposal fee. Okay. And this is not very much money, but I still like to mention it because everything adds up, and just so we don't have any surprises, I like to know what things are going to cost me before I get into it. So $6 to $7 for a disposal fee to dispose of the old door and frame. Okay. Now, one thing it mentions is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 charges you would expect to pay someone to do. These 2 are optional. It says that, you know, maybe some homeowners would opt to remove the old door and frame on their own to maybe save some money, and then they will dispose of the old. So that is just an option that they have there. These could be optional. You could pay a contractor, but you don't necessarily have to. So based on that, we really have 2 different totals here. Okay. So we can kind of go either way here. Let's say, for instance, we're going to add up just these charges here, okay? The range. So at the lower range, let's say we're probably looking at, I'm going to change my color here, $358 is our lower range for just these 4, okay? And then the upper is $550. Okay. Now, let's say you don't have a truck. You don't have a way to dispose of the old door and frame. Okay. You don't want to, you don't know how to remove the old frame and door, or you just don't want to deal with it. You want the contractor to take care of that. So if that's the case, then you would pay them to do that. So we've got $428 if you add those things in on the low range, okay? Anywhere up to $660 there, okay? So that's just for one door. That's kind of up there. That's a little expensive. But let's just think about how many doors we have. So every situation's going to be different depending upon what your square footage is, how many doors you have. For me, myself, I have 12 doors that would need to be done. So my house is about 1,500 square feet, so it's not large. So if you have a larger house, you're looking at a lot more money to do all of these. But let's just say, for instance, we're just going to take my house for an example. 12 doors, okay? So if I had 12 doors to do, all right, we're just going to kind of look at the math here. Okay, if we were going to do this, for me, that'd be 16, 11, 7, 8, 5, 3, okay, and then, you know, let's see, that's going to be a 6. Should have used a different color here, but that's okay. Wow, $42.96, $4,296 to do all of my doors, just the lower end, without doing the disposal fee and removing the old from the rough opening to make room for the new. If I did that myself, I'm looking at, wow, $4,296. That's on the low end. Okay, let's see what we've got at our upper end. 10 and 11, 0, 5, 5, 6,600. 6,600 on the upper end. Wow. For just 12 doors. Okay. Now, let's see here. What if we didn't, like I said, we didn't have a truck. We didn't want to do any of this. We're just going to let the contractor take care of it all. Let's see what we're looking at here in both instances. 5, that's an 8. Bring these down. 13, 11, 51.36, $5,136, folks. That's wow. Okay, let's do the upper end of this. 12, 13. Okay, so we got a 0, 6, 6, and add up. We get this 9. Oh, wow. 51.36 to 79.20. Wow. Here's what we'll do. I should have used a different color here to make that stand out a little bit. There we go. So look at that. 42.96, 6,600, or 51.36 to $7,920. That's a lot of money to just do your doors. So let's take a look at what I'd like to know is, what is it going to cost us if we did this ourselves? If we did the labor ourselves, okay? Let's just see what we can take off here. Okay. If we're going to do the work ourselves, then the basic install goes away. That fee goes away. We're still going to have to buy our door, so we're still going to have that charge. We're still going to have supplies, I believe, okay? So we really can't remove that. Equipment allowance, you know, you are going to have some initial costs if you're going to do this yourself. Then you're going to buy a saw and a blade, a circular saw and a blade. And yes, there's going to be an upfront cost, but I don't believe after that initial investment, you are going to be paying $54 to $77 for equipment. So for our purposes, we're just going to remove that for now, okay? Let's take that off. If we do the work ourselves, we're not going to pay for labor to remove the old door because we're just going to do it ourselves, okay? And if we have the equipment, because we are doing this ourselves, which is a very small upfront cost, then we don't need to worry about a disposal fee, because you can cut the door up to smaller pieces with a circular saw and the frame and put it in your trash bin. So we don't need to factor that in. So then this is what we're left with, okay? Let's see. Let's see what we can save here. All right, let's add up per door what it would cost us. Now this is on the upper end, okay? This is 11, $219. $219. Okay, and this is 8 of 4, $148. $148 to $219 per door install. That sounds a lot better to me than $358 to $550 or $428 to $660. I'd rather pay $148 or $219. You could even get a more expensive door, a fancier door maybe, and still save a lot of money. Okay, so let's see what we do need to look at. That's just one door. So we need to factor in the fact that, you know, none of us are just going to install one door. We need to do the rest of the house. So in my case, I have 12 doors. So 16, that's 9. Okay, we're going to repeat 8, 4, and 1. So this is a 6, 1776 on our low end. Okay, now let's take the 219 times 12 for me, for my number of doors. That's going to be a 3 and a 4. Repeat our 9, 1, and 2. 8, 12, 6, 26, 28. 1776 to 2628. Wouldn't you rather pay this than $42.96 to $6,600 or $51.36 to $7,920? I would much rather pay this to install all my doors. That's a huge cost savings right there. I mean, you know what? Let's do this because it's really hard to look at it this way. I think it's easier. Yeah, it's going to be easier if we take a look at it this way. Let's do this. So let's go with our 5136. I just want to see what we're going to save here. 5136 for the low end, okay? And then let's say we're going to subtract that 1776, okay? That gives us a 0. Do some more math here. That's a 10. This is going to be 6, right? Yeah. Hopefully nobody, math teachers, are watching me do this here and, whoa, critiquing my math. Look at that number. Okay, so that's the low end, and the upper end is 7920, $7,920. Wow, folks, that's a lot of money. A lot. We're going to subtract what we would pay for my number of doors, okay? And doing the math here, we're going to get an 8 there, 11, this is going to be a 2, 9, 2, 52, 92. Woo! Look at how much money we could save. And this is a small house, 12 doors. Some of you might have double that in your home. The square footage might be double. So you're going to save a lot more than this. But this is what I would save. Now, I'd much rather pay that than this. Or I'd much rather save that and not pay this, but pay this. That's just me. How about you save that money and then you have this available to you after you get your door project done to do something else with. Let's say you want to upgrade your carpet. You want to switch out your carpet. Well, I think you could do something significant with that amount of money. Or let's say you want to also remodel your kitchen. Well, then you would have a little extra cash here to put towards that, right? So, or let's say that you want to upgrade all your doors, improve your home value, which is always good, right? But in addition to that, you want to go on a little vacation. You can do that. Look at this. I don't know about you, but I could go on a nice vacation with my family with this. Yeah. And this is just one project. This is just one thing that you're doing around the house. Now, albeit it's not a tiny project. Don't get me wrong. You know, there's some contractors probably watching this thinking, okay, she doesn't know what she's saying. This is a lot of work. I'm not saying that this is no work. This is going to be some work, but it's manageable, okay? It can be done. If I can do it, you can do it. And I feel confident that you can do it. You can learn, and the more times you do something, the better you get at it, okay? And I really think that these numbers are worth taking a shot at it. I mean, why not? You know? If you're going to end up doing it anyway, you might have to pay someone to do it. Go ahead and try to do it by yourself. See how you do. You might surprise yourself, you know? I like looking at the numbers because that is motivating to me. That's motivating. When I look at this, I just saved $5,300 by doing the work myself. And that is so empowering. It really is. So this is what this channel is going to be all about. It's going to be about me sharing ways that I have done things in my own home to save money by doing the work myself. And just the cost savings that you can obtain by doing so. And I mean, really, the numbers speak for themselves. So if you want to make some upgrades in your home, let's say, for instance, we've had this crazy buying frenzy with real estate lately, okay? And everyone is going way over and beyond asking price for these houses, okay? It's not just in my area. It's just not just my market. It's all over the United States. People are bidding on houses way over the asking price. I mean, 20, 30, 50, sometimes $100,000 over the asking price just to get their offer accepted, their offer seriously considered. Some people are waiving all their contingencies, the inspection contingency, they're waiving appraisal. You know, these are really risky things. And if you are a new homeowner and you scored by getting into your home, you know, maybe let's say you're a first-time home buyer and you you had all of these properties that you were bidding on, you were getting outbid, there were people with cash that were basically buying up the properties you were looking at, and you were not able to get in. So then when you finally did go to the next one, you upped the ante and you offered more. Let's say you had, like, I don't know, some people might use their savings, you know, pull money out of their 401k. I think some were using home equity lines of credit. You know, maybe you pulled money off a credit card. I don't know. In order to get that additional amount so that you could get your offer accepted over asking, and maybe over what the house would even appraise for. So, and if you waived that, then, you know, you were expected to bring that to the closing table, you know, in cash. So you had to come up with that. So let's say you did that and you spent all of your money, like you maxed yourself out just to get your offer accepted, just to get that house. Well, that's great. That's great. But now, let's say you want to make it your own. Let's say, like I said, maybe you've got some ugly carpet. Like when I moved into my home, the people before me had dogs, and multiple dogs, and the carpet was ruined. And my first thought was, if I'm going to move into this house, that is the first thing that's got to go. I have to get rid of the carpet. There were a few other things I wanted to do, but that was the main thing. That had to go. Well, if you spent all your money, all of your savings, and you don't have any money left over to do these things, or very little, then, you know, this is a perfect option for you, because you may not have this to pay a contractor, but, you know, you may have this, you know, you might be able to swing this. So this is just something to look at, because, you know, it is nice to get your own home, but you also do maybe want to make some changes. And it's hard to make it your home if you can't really make it your own. So just keep that in mind. And that's what this channel is all about. I want to show you what you can do with what you already have with less cash to get you to your goal.